Hello everyone and welcome. Um, well, we will be talking about modeling ponds in 3D. And also on top of that, we're also gonna tackle the two different ways of doing them. And I'm gonna expose y'all, my people on a webinar to a different way, which is doing it through the corridor and a template. But for people who was gonna watch this in the future on YouTube, I'm just gonna show both ways, doing it the ways of doing just the terrain on top of a skeleton lines or contours, and also doing it the template way. Okay, before we start any of that, you can just go to YouTube. Again, this is for FDUT workspace. This is for my people in this meeting. This is FDUT workspace, and we're going to use ORD 1012. But for the people watching this in the future, I guess you can skip the next few minutes because what I'm just going to explain here is just the naming conventions for Florida Department of Transportation workspace and how they expect the files to be. And I want to point some few things. You can just go to FDUT CAD standard file name. You can do that also to your states if you have like GDOT or whatever state you work at. I wanted to point this out. Sadly, the industry does not care for drainage as much as they care for other discipline. And I'm going to say that. I'm saying it. That's it. It is what it is. And I don't like that. Like even from Bentley, they have OpenRoads Designer that does roadway, and then they just added the drainage there. But when it comes to other stuff, they have Open Bridge Modeler, Open Structure Modeler. They even have for God's sake one they just released it just for signs, just to do signs for sign and pavement marking people, just so they made the structure and the cantilevers in their signs. But none of them thought of making open roads for drainage and open roads for roadway, because drainage is an important part. It's not like it's not important. Roadway, we use it, and we, as a person who do roadway mainly, we need to work together because their models work with our model. But from what I'm seeing from FDUT, unfortunately, even FDUT don't care about drainage. And you can tell by the naming conventions we have here. So all these naming conventions here came from the old generation. So my people who are using MicroStation back in the day, V8, SS10, SS2, they're familiar with these. I don't think these got updated since then. And why I'm saying that? Because if you go to Roadway, they still have the old ones, I mean, since start of time, but they also added the MODRD file, which is the model ones before the 3D. But unfortunately, they didn't do that. I feel like for these, what happened is they updated the roadway and other segments to include the 3D, but they did not do the same thing for drainage. This is my own theory. I might be wrong, but from just seeing what it is, I think they didn't care enough, or they didn't think the drainage people should model. That's why they left these. Because if you look at these, there are no explicit file actually saying they have a drainage map, and then a drainage detail, and then a drainage structure proposed, and then a design, and then a cross section. Mind you, they can do cross sections for ponds, but, and by the way, most people, they don't know that. I mean, in 2D, that's what they used to do it back in the day. Everything was 2D. There are no 3D. So you can actually use these. So that's made me to think that actually they did not think of updating these file naming conventions for drainage when we already switched to the new generation. Of course, they spend times on other stuff, like, for example, the roadway, and then the structure. God almighty, the structure, let's go down. The structure actually have 2 pages. 2 freaking pages of different files for different models, of different details, of everything that you can think of, it's here. But poor drainage, they didn't care enough about. So what I'm seeing most people do is, most people that I'm seeing working in drainage, I mean, most of them, I mean, that's another thing also. We don't have a lot of people who know drainage and ORD. Most people that I'm seeing are coming from Civil 3D or coming from previous generation for V8, which is SS10, SS2, SS4. So they are used to that. So that's what they do. So for example, for the pond, they make this file PD PLRD, and inside it 01, and they make it for the 2D lines, the contours for the ponds, and the 3D there too. Which is, I don't blame them. They don't have a 3D one. And when it comes to plans and cross sections, they don't even have a pond file for plans. And as you can see, the PLRD, it's only applied to these. By the way, these are the rules for QC here. As you can see, blah, 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 NRD. So for some reason, they expecting these to be some type of plan, but they also have, well, they have a cross-section file. As you see, and the rule is PDXRD. But they don't have like a pond design plan file, which is for the storm facility. As you know, we're going to put the pond and then show it in a plan view and then also show a cross-section. But they don't care. And I'm just saying this, just I feel bad for y'all. It's not good. I feel like all the disciplines got moved to the next generation, including the file naming conventions. But when it comes to drainage, they just left y'all in the dust. They just paid y'all dust, which is sad. Okay, I just wanted to point that out. Okay, so now let's go to how we're gonna start this. You see a bunch of files is inside my working folder, inside the drainage working folder. I'm gonna tackle this as the way that I think I would do it, and then the other way that you guys doing it, which is I'm not saying what's right, what's wrong. This is why I wanted to start this video by actually pointing the problems, which is none of us' fault. It's how this industry not actually thinking too much of drainage and how valuable drainage is and how important it is. They always push them back. So, like I said, what we usually do, they have a PLDRD, and inside this one, they just put the 2D and a 3D. But for my webinar here, I actually wanted to separate them. I'm going to put the 2D in a 2D file, a 3D in a 3D files, and then the plans in a separate file. And also the cross sections, I'm going to use the PDX, and I'm going to put them here separately. So all these are, as you can see, 92 kilobit, which is just empty seed files. I brought them here or renamed them. If you don't know how, watch my ORD 101 on YouTube channel, and created them and renamed them like this. And then we have an ITL. The ITL is the library template. Inside this, you have all the templates that come from FDUT, and people who are watching this on YouTube, whatever workspace you're working on. If you're working on the default Bentley, of course, you're going to have the ITL from Bentley. And if you have the other workspaces, for example, Georgia or Tennessee or whatever, they have their own ITL. So look for your ITL. So as for us here, unfortunately, again, they don't care for drainage, like I said. And also, if the project-wise admins were doing their job right, were doing everything as it should be, they drop, usually in a roadway, they drop the ITL file library there. So the roadway people come, and how the FDUT wanted it is you type your project FBID number here, .itl, and that's for your project. But if you have like different libraries like we did in this big project, you can do that, like bunch of libraries for the main line, the ramps, blah, 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 whatever. But when it comes to the final delivery, when we usually submit to districts and Florida Department of Transportation, they just want this one to be FBID number. And inside it, you put everything. So inside it in the library, have the folders for all the templates that has been used in the project. But they don't put this one in drainage. Even though drainage segments, it's inside it. So how to find this one? Let's go to your C drive. And then in your C drive, you have the workspace. So we are using, like I said, ORD 1012. I'm not using 2024. So let's go here. And then civil organization. And then FDOT. And then template library. And then you're going to see it here. They usually have two of them. This one have less templates than this one. I always recommend get this one because as you can see, it's bigger. You have a lot of stuff in it. So get this one. Poop, I copied it here. That's it. And then when you copied it here, for you, I mean, for the sake of this example, I'm just going to call it. Actually, let me delete it because I think I did some stuff in it. I'm just going to bring it from scratch again. Yeah, because I was doing some things in it before recording the video. So I'm just going to get you all a fresh one, right? Because as you know, these are my videos. My videos are not edited, not cut, not routed, and when I'm doing editing, I will let you. Because as you know, one thing that I do not like is when you go to YouTube trying to watch a technical tutorial and then somebody just try to make it perfect and sweet and just cut stuff and skip steps. Mama not doing this here. We're not doing that. So y'all in a good hand. So I'm just going to call this ponds. Let's call it ponds templates. Or whatever you want to call it. It's okay. Okay. So now let's open the 2D file. And to the magic of editing right now, I'm just going to wait for it to open, and then I will come back when the file open, okay? Okay, the file has opened. So because this is, I mean, like I said, this is a seed file, the first thing you need to do, my friend, always go to your coordinate system. I'm searching here up top, just COO, and make sure it's set up the right coordinate before you start doing anything else. And for the people who's watching on YouTube, if you think my ORD looks different than yours, well, it's for a reason. If you don't know how, because I customized it, just go watch ORD 101. I already did that in it. And also, I'm operating in one screen, as you guys can see, because I have an ultra-wide monitor, so I have a lot of real estate. I don't need two screens. And that's why I have my stuff here, like ducted at the side, so when I need them, poop, I come to them, and then I go back to my design. And also because my second screen is busy with the recording software, right? Okay, so the first thing first. So I'm going to make this, like I said, this is going to be a 2D file. And usually the UR, who's the one, they actually make the design of those contours. As you know, the pond itself, just think of it as like there are contours, and those contours are like the bones, the structures of how the bonds will grade from the bottom to the top. To the top is the berm, where the maintenance cars will drive on it, and then it will go down. So they are like steps. Think of it as like stairs, steps. Those steps need to have an elevation, and also the space between them need to be designed. Who does that? The drainage AUR. So like what I'm about to say is, for this video, I'm not showing you how to do that. I'm not showing you how to get to the calculation and the engineering for doing that. That's drainage, right? So I'm just going to get something that's already ready and put it here so we can start our 2D and then 3D work. So as you can see, this is like a real project here. Somebody's using, you see, the 2D and the 3D. And I don't, like I said, I don't blame them, because that's what they have for them. So let's add this one, and let's do OK. OK, and then let's reference it. Okay, we already have it referenced here. So my game plan is, I'm gonna show y'all how they get drawn, and I guess, and then show you the different ways of making that, right? A 2D and my different ways of doing the 3D and different ways of doing the 2D. So I don't know, should I make a small one, or let's just go for the big one? I think, you know what? We love a challenge, right? Let's go for the big one. And I know this one was challenging for the UR to make work. Okay, so you see these, the bottom and all these non-plotting, then these the UR. The UR usually do this, and they draw these, right? And tell you exactly, as you see, this elevation, 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 and also the space between them. It's already here, and the slopes, right? The slopes that are expectancy. So this pond will work, which is why when you get filled with water, whatever that they are doing. So what I'm going to do is, I'm just going to copy this here. Like literally, I'm just copying it in my file. Because like I said, I'm not going to do the engineer. I'm just going to show you the CAD work and how actually to draw them. And then we can delete this. We don't want it. Here we go. So now let's go to our file. So let me click on this one. So most people here are used to the old ways of doing things, like the microstation ways. You see all these lines? All these lines are not smart lines. Meaning, when they got drawn, they used the placement, the drawing to the microstation lines, right? They did not use the geometry lines. And I'm not saying that this is wrong, okay? It's okay. If you know what you're doing, keep doing what you're doing, right? But I'm just going to expose you to different ways of doing it. And why I think the geometry lines are better, in my opinion, and give you more control. One of the most important thing is, if you have a change, for example, this diameter, if you want to change it, I mean, what is this? The radius, I'm sorry. The radius of this is 45. If you want to change it, what you need to do is, you need to drop all of them and then change this one. And then after that, go again and make the other ones. It's extra work. But if you use the smart lines, there are ways of just changing it, making, for example, this one to be the father or the mother, and then all these will be children under it. So if you change this, it will change the other one. So right now, the first part of the 3D model, I'm going to start with the 2D, just so I can show you what I mean. Okay, so just for the 2D piece, what I'm going to do is just going to copy this one. Well, let's not copy it. Let's just leave it here. Let me go to levels. Okay, we have default. So I'm just going to leave it at default. So I'm just going to show you how they draw them, because I'm expecting people who've never known that. So just going to draw the 2D, the tangent lines. As you know, you do the tangents, and then after that, you're going to do the curves. And I think this is a curve, and this is a tangent. Actually, there are two tangents drawn here. Okay, and then let's go to arcs, and let's select the start and end and middle. So we start here, we end here, and then pop, we arc this, and then let's do the same thing here. Start here, we end here, and then pop, and then we start here, we end here, and then pop, and then we start here, we end here, and then pop. Then we start here, we end here, and then pop. And we start here, we end here, and then pop. Okay, so now let's turn the level off of this retention. Oh, I think I missed. You see, I missed view. And I picked a challenging one, because this one is not an easy one. Okay. Oh my, I still have one missing. Damn, there are a lot of arcs here. Okay, dookie, so pop, we got that off. Here we go. So now it's good. So then let's go to make a chain, a complex chain. I mean, you can do it manual or automatic. So let's do pop, pop. Oh, okay, it does not want to do that here. So this is why I like the manual sometimes. And again, I'm doing this because I'm trusting the UR who made it. I'm making sure that they already know the curves, the arcs, and they are tangent and workable and designable and all that, right? Okay, so now we got that. And then let's go to this lovely tool here. What is it called? Move parallel. Well, that's one way of doing it. Move parallel, but then select make a copy, right? So, oh yeah, I need to know the spaces here, right? So let me do that first. Let's go to drawing. I'm sorry, dimension, right? Dimension linear. Let me turn this on back again. Let me do it in a 90-degree here. So from here, oh, let's rotate the screen. Because yeah, I need to know the spaces, right? So then let's rotate the screen, and then let's go again to dimensions. Which I wish that you are done that. I mean, it's good to write the numbers, right? So that's 15. We know that's because the berm, right? This is where the maintenance car drive. And then from here to here, and I know usually they told me just ignore that because this is supposed to represent like the NWL, which is where the water actually go. But just trying to actually show all of them and how to draw them. So actually this is 23. And then from here to here, let's do manual. Here we go. Okay, so now I got my numbers. I'm good to go. Now let's start with the parallel thing. Okay, so make a copy. So let's start with the first one, right? First one is the 15, right? So let's type 15. So I want this to go down, poop, 15. Perfect. And then from here to where we're going again? Pitch to here. It's also 15, but it's 15.08. So 15.08. Again, I'm just following what you already did. And then this one is 8. So let's do the 8. Oh, we did not do that. Oh, for some reason it does not want to do it. I hate when that happens. Let's do 7.5. Will it do 7.5? Wow. Okay, cool. So I don't know how you guys do that when this happen. I guess the only thing I need to do is drop it, right? And then do them one by one. So, and that's the other thing is, my apologies, I'm not good at these tools, the classic MicroStation tools, because I don't use them, period. I mean, when I'm doing stuff, the only place I think it's okay to use them is when you do roadway, because it will help us at least, because we can use them later on for quantities. But when it comes to other work that I'm doing, I always prefer to use the smart lines. So I'm sure there are maybe a better way than what I'm doing right now to make this, but that's okay. Okay, so then let's just complex this. Okay, so now the last one will be, what is it? It's 18. It's the bottom. 6. Here we go. So let's turn on again the UR things here. Okay, everything is good. The only thing is the bottom one I'm expecting that's need to be customized, because you see it's not the 90 degrees, actually have curves in it, but I don't know why we don't have one here. I'm just gonna make one here anyway. So what is it? This is a 10 here, and this is 5 radius. 5, 5, and 10. So what I'm gonna do. So let's drop it, and then arc. Start and end in mid, I guess, but then I'm just gonna force it to be 5. So if I did that, oh, that's not gonna work. Okay, and I know why, because that tool does not do that. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna, let me take this out. Oh, okay, this one needs to be dropped still. Or break. For some reason it's acting funky. Oh, let's move this here. Let's do the same thing here too. Then I'm just gonna move this here like this. I'm gonna make it 5 anyway. Oh, I think it's already broke. Okay, let's do a 10 here. So I want to start from here, and I want to start from here, and I want my 10 to be here. Yeah, but as you can see, it's not tangent. Ugh. Let me do it like this. Like I say, it's not tangent because I'm using the wrong one. So let's do this. And I just remembered I could have used the other tool here. Where is it? But y'all can tell, which is constant circular fillet, because I don't use these as much. Okay, so make this 10, and then click on this one, and click on this one, pop, and we got this one. So here we want 5, right? So let's make a 5 here. Boop. I wish you have like trimming. Maybe it does. And then here, let's do the same. Oh, yeah, they are. Truncated. That's the trimming. Okay, wow. So, because I'm used to the geometry. Geometry, they call them different. Trim. Back and forward. Okay, here we go. Damn. Okay, cool. And then that's it. Okay, so now let's complex this bottom contour. Okay, here we go. Ta-da! We got a complex. So now the last thing is we just need to add the feature I'm sorry, the level, right? Because that's what they are doing. Okay, retention bonds. So now let's force the other ones to be like that. Let's go back here. And then let's select everything. And then boop, boop. And then this one, and then this one. And when it comes to the NW line, let's make it like that. There you go. Ta-da! So now I'm just gonna delete the other ones. Delete. I know this probably might sound. Why am I doing this? Again, because I just want y'all to see different ways of doing it, right? So just imagine with me. I am the you already know these spaces because I don't, so that's why I'm mimicking theirs. Okay, so this is how they usually do it using the 2D tools, but there are another way of actually doing this in using the smart tools, which I'm gonna demonstrate here. What I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna copy this, put it here. So now let's go to the smart tools. So let's go to geometry. The thing is about geometry, these smart tools, they can need a feature definition, right? So you can select a feature definition right now, or you can do it later. It's the same thing as applying a level display. It's the same as feature. So I'm going to select a feature right now because I want y'all to get exposed to this, because most people don't know. This is where FDUT have the pawns feature definition hidden. It's under the linear and then roadway and then where's the pawns, and there's the pawns. Here we go. And then they have pond bottom, pond control, pond peak, and pond slope break. So you can start either from the top or a bottom, right? So what I'm going to do is right now, I'm just going to start from the pond bottom. So I'm going to draw the bottom one, right? So that's what I'm going to do. And this is the one here. This is, if you clicked on this, you see a line between points. So that's what I'm going to do first. Basically, just draw lines, and you see the active feature is already because I activated it by clicking on this button. So what I'm going to do is right now, and by the way, yeah, uncheck this. This is important because if I uncheck this, it's not going to make a father-mother relationship parents with the stupid lines. With the other lines are not like, which is, let me do this actually. Let's go here. Let's make everything non-plotting so it doesn't confuse us, right? Oh, here we go. Okay, so now let's go back to geometry and let's start with the pond lines and then why my one is not here? That's okay. That's strange. I thought I already did it, but that's okay. We can change that later. Let me see. Oh, because I didn't. That's why. Dang. Okay. Well, you already know how, okay? And then let's draw this here. Is this a tangent? Okay, a tangent here. And then after that, I know this is a curve or an arc. I know they are not tomato, they are different, but excuse me, I mess up stuff sometimes. Okay, so let's go to an arc. And I want to show you different tools here. If you already know your arc, I mean, if you already have a guide, like I have a guide here right now, you know, my guide is, oh, my guide is this, and I already know that this is 5, right? So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to do one with the guide, I'm going to do the other one without the guide. So an arc between points is the same one as the 2D one. It's called start and end and pass through. That's the one that I like, which is you click one time to activate it, and then it, like I said before in RD 101, pay attention to the tools here, because it tell you usually here in the bottom what you need to do. So it's telling me to select the start point, so poop, that's the start point, and then you see I have it, and then there's the end point, right? And then I need to do the pass-through, or the center, poop, just click it here. Because I already know this, and I already have a guide, I'm doing it. But if you don't, and you actually know this, let me show you another tool, which is the same one as the fillet one that the dummy lines do. Okay. I don't remember this, so let's see what it is. So is this, so 1954. Okay, so let's copy that. So now let's go here. So they are an arc between elements, a simple one. Okay, what's the element? The element is this one and this one. And then you go here. And this is why earlier I was asking, where's trim and extend? Because this is the language I'm used for. And the new geometry, but the old ones, they call them what? Truncate, ugh. But anyway, this is what I was looking for. So I put this one here, so I'm going to select this element, I'm going to select this element, and then as you see, poop, 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 I have it, like where the equation might make it work, right? But I don't want it there, I just want it here. So click on it, ta-da, I made it, perfect. And then I know this is one of 5, right? So click on this one, oh, what did I do? I did something wrong. Okay, so click on this one, and then click on this one, and then boop, boop, boop. I want it to be a 5 here. Okay, perfect. So here, I also know it's 5. So click on this one, click on this one, and then click on this one, and then make my 5 here. Boop. Here we go. As you see, it's already trim it to this. Remember, this is my guide, the yellow line. So here, let's go back and use the other one. So I'm just exposing y'all to different ways of doing everything, because I think it's important for y'all to know that when it comes to CAD, there are always multiple ways of doing everything. And then we have another curve here. Okay. Oh my god, what happened here? I thought I made it. Oh, did I delete it? Girl. Anyway, here we go. I think I did delete it. And I clicked on delete this one here. Okay, so now let's turn off the non-plotting. So let's go down to complex geometry. This is the one that's going to make a chain. So making a chain for smart lines are not like making a chain from like the microstation lines. So complex by element. So click on it and just pay attention to the direction. Let me do that again. So when you click here, you see the direction, and then if you move these in the direction, it's going to show you where it starts, where it ends, right? The direction of it. So I'm going to start from here, and then go here, and then go here, here, here. And I don't like using the automatic. It's because I like to control, make sure all of them are correct. Because it's easy to mess things here and mess up your chain. Because this chain is so important. Okay, so right now you have this. So this line is not like this line. See, there are not a lot of information here. But this one actually have a lot. You have full control on everything. Somebody came to you until you change things, you can actually come here and change it. For the arcs, for whatever you think of, you can change it from here. Anything that you can think of can be changed from here. Just for example, this 10, I want to make it 25, right? Boop, click on it and it will change it. Of course, it doesn't look like it, doesn't work. So let's make it back to 10. But you can actually change it. And the other thing is, you can create a father, mother, son, daughter relationship with the rest, which is what I'm going to do right now. Okay. So since this is the bottom, there are a tool here called single offset. which is like the parallel one. And again, like I said, I'm seeing all of them. I'm leaving all of them the same feature. We'll change the features later. So in the offset here, we can change it. I can type it here, or I can just choose it visually because I already have the guidelines. So I'm going to do one with the guidelines. I'm going to do the ones without, right? So for example, this is 18.46, right? So 18.46. And then I'm going to click on this one. I'm going to tell it not offset it here, offset it here. As you see, it's already brought it here. Okay, and you see right now we already have a relationship with this one. So this one, if I clicked on it, it will tell you it's already offsetted like this. So now somebody will ask about the arc. So the thing is here, when you offset it like this, it will try to make it proportionally work. Obviously, the arc here that's been designed, it's not like that, or at least these two, because you see this one is perfect. This one is not perfect too, because this one was changed to be like this. Because the bottom one actually, I feel like it should not be the father and the mother. Actually, the top one is the mother and father, or the controlled. And I remember the UR explained that to me. It's one of them that is control, and then the other one after. So I think this is a bad idea. We should not maybe use the one as a father. Let's maybe use the top one, right? So let me do this. Let me delete this, right? I'm going to pause the video. I'm going to make the top one and then come back, okay? Ta-da! Here we go. So now we're back. So I made it. I just did it off recording just to do it fast. So now we have the top one. So now from the top one, I'm going to do the offset because that will work with this case scenario. Because this one will go like this and then this, and proportionally it will work. Because usually the bottom one, it's modified uniquely. So again, the UR decided to do that, but that's okay. For this example, we're just going to do that, but I'm still going to show you all the tools. So let's go back again to offset and taper. So now I know from here to here, like I said, it's 15. So let's do now 15. If I clicked on this, as you see, here it's going to be a minus 15, but inside is 15, which is the plus. So click on it, here we go. See, now we have it here. So now we have this one, part of this one. So now we're going to do the other one here. What's the space we have here? It's 15.08, or I can, like I said, I can do it by visually, right? So now let's click on this one. Oh, but it's going to be hard to do it. Here we go. That's the one. 0.8, right? Yep. Here we go. Perfect. And then the last one from here to here, which is 8. Click on it. Here we go. So now, this is what I was going to show y'all from the beginning. Excluding this, because this is its own universe, this one right now control all these. Meaning, if I actually, see this is 45, if I want to change it to 50, you see, well, you know, the bottom ones are the yellow ones, the non-plotted. Let's take them out. But do you see how it changed it? It will affect all of them. And I feel like that might be a better thing to do for you. Again, I'm not telling you what's right, what's wrong. Let's do 55. You see, it will affect all of them. And I feel like this is also good for people, especially when we keep changing stuff and doing stuff. If you do it like this, it might be better. So just consider it. Just consider using the smart tools. And I promise you, when you get used to them, they're not going to be that hard to do. Okay, so with that, we are done. We are done for the 2D for now. We're going to jump to the 3D, okay? So, yep. So I just want you all to see this, how to do the 2D, and now we're going to straight up jump to the 3D. So let me just pause this, save this. I'm going to pause the video, but before I do that, what I'm going to do is, my friends, I'm just going to open the 3D, okay? And come back. Okay, ta-da, we are back, and we have the, like I said, whoopsie, the 3D file now work. And by the way, like I said, the work we're about to do here, we could have done it in that file, right? Because like I said before, it's up to you, because the system doesn't care about y'all as much. I'm joking. Well, they need to do better. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay, check the coordinates. Coordinates are good. And now, because there's a 3D one for me, so we need to go attach few things, right? So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to attach my 2D, because that's where I'm going to get my 2D work, right? So add it. And then let's go to the survey because we're going to need a surface. GDTM, so get your terrain. Terrain. I don't know what y'all call it in different states, but that's what we need, just a surface. And that's it for now. Later on, we're going to need to add the roadway. You see what? Let's just, you know what? Let's add them now. Let's add the roadway models. The adjacent one, right, to it. So, pop, roadway main line, ramps. I'm just going to add all of them for now. Let's do okay, let's do okay, let's do okay. Leave everything as it is. Give it a second. Okay. Oh, somebody have something flying here in the universe. What is this? Let's see, which file is this? I'm gonna put them on blast now. Oh, model 404. So whoever is working on 404. Why do you have stuff flying in the universe? Okay, let's give it a second because now the file is getting a little bit heavy because of the terrain. Let it do these updates, and obviously people are working on the roadway files too. Okay, so as you know right now, and in this file you only have a 2D model, right? So to make the 3D model, you just select the terrain and then hover over it and then you activate it. If you activate it, it will automatically make the 3D model for you, right? But what I'm going to do is right now, I don't want to do it this way. I'm going to show you another way in case y'all don't know about. Go here to the geometry, just draw a line, any line, and then go to the vertical section here and do profile by constant elevation. Pop, click on it, and then type whatever elevation you want here. 2, 3, whatever, 25, it doesn't matter. And then locate the element itself. So what I'm telling it is basically give this line a constant elevation, a profile, basically. Pop, so make a 3D element. And by doing that, ta-da, it will automatically make the 3D view for us. See that? So that's one way, by the way. So most people, they think you need to have like some type of terrain so you can activate the 3D. No, you can just draw a line. Because the DGN for an ORD only needs some 3D elements to be like initiated so you can go create the 3D model. Okay, so whilst that happening, I'm just going to hold right click. It's my favorite way of doing it. And then view control and then view plan 3D. And it's going to show us the 3D. Okay, so now let's go to my references and turn a few things off. So let's go here. So let's turn the 2D views of the 3D models. Poop, we don't want them. And then the surface itself also, we don't want it. So the only thing I'm leaving here, my friends, is this one. This is my 2D. Remember the 2D ponds that I made? The one that it's made with the regular tool, MicroStation, the one that's made with Smart, of course. This one just for example, we don't need it. Our work is just going to be here. Okay. So, and because of that, let's just focus on this right now. So because I've seen, like I said, most people, whatever you did in the 2D, you could have done the 3D there, right? So that's exactly what I'm going to do. So I'm going to copy these here. Because as y'all, like I said, if you're going to do the 2D and the 3D name file, you're going to need both of them here, right? So that's what I'm going to do right now. Click on this one, click on this one, click on this one, or just, you know what, let's copy everything. And then pop. Just think of it as like we are copying stuff, like we are making them here, like we are doing, which y'all do usually, just make the 2D and the 3D in the same place. So now let's go turn this off. We don't need it anymore. Ta-da! Now we have our pond. So before I do the templates, I still want to do the way that that most drainage I know in this company do it, and I don't think it's wrong. The only thing is I think it's missing something, which is I will show y'all, because by the end of this video, I will show you the template way, how to do a template in a corridor. Also, I will show you if you still want to make your way that y'all learn to do it, which is basically the lines and give them elevations and then make a terrain out of those lines. I will show you there are an extra step you need to do. So the roadway can be happy. So the roadway can connect with your stuff, okay? So, as we know, well, I don't need a profile. We can use a tool. So we know this one need to be a 75, right? So let me see if actually, remember this tool that I told you about that gave a constant elevation? Let's see if it's gonna work with this not smart line. I don't think it will, but we'll see. So this is 75, or maybe it will. I don't know. It actually will. Cool. Okay, so if you didn't know, you don't have to actually to open a profile or something. Just do it like this. And give it that, pop. So we made it, but let's double check if it's there. Ta-da! You already have it. And it is a 75, as you can see. Perfect. By the way, is the existing active or not? For some reason, I think it's not. Oh, it's not active. Oopsie, I forgot. I guess I activated it. Yeah, I didn't. I forgot. So let's activate it. Because, yeah, I just looked at the profile. You guys saw. I didn't see the line. And by the way, if you were paying attention, you see it's already here. So like I said, this tool is magical. Pop, it will automatically do it for you and activate it, the line for you. So let's give this a second because this is a big terrain. Okay, let's open a profile view again. Here we go. See, it's already there. And by the way, it's cut like this, as you know, because we have our terrain is not perfect. I mean, we're still trying to get the perfect one. Okay, and you see, you already made the bottom contour, which is I'm gonna call them as skeletons, right? And then I'm gonna go again to the tool. What do we have here? 8.4. So let's do 8.4.5. My whole point of doing this, I just want to expose y'all to different tools just to make your work faster. As you can see, there are some interchanged. You can use stupid tools with smart tools. We can reap the benefit of the smart things with the classic ones if you're comfortable with using them. And I keep calling them stupid. My apology. I don't mean as stupid. I mean like as not to have more, I guess, data as the geometry one. So click on it. Here we go. You need to make sure it's pink, and then pop, reset, and then click. Para, para. It made it. So now let's go to the other one, the NWL, because I know y'all don't want to do that, but that's okay. I'm just doing it. If you don't, you don't have to. Oh, it is what? 86.15. And then click. Para, it made it for. Hold on. Ooh. No, ma'am. Oh, I know why. Because this one is not complex. That's why. Okay, so let's hold on that for now. I need to complex it first. So we have a 90 here, right? So let's do 90. Boop. So we made it for us. And then let's go to this one, which is 90.50. Para, do this. So now let's complex the NWL line. Let's get the same thing, and then let's go to the tools and pop. Let's complex it. Because I know you guys in the plans, I mean, in the way that you guys usually model it, it's technically you don't need it there, it just visually, but I like to show it anyway. Especially when I'm going to make the template, I'm going to make it show in the template. Pop. So connect. Here we go. We got it. How many do we have here? I have one or two. Oh, we have an extra line here. That's why. Delete. Oh, we have multiples here. God damn. So we have some rogue stuff here. Oh no, isn't it because maybe I clicked on this? I don't know why, but okay. You see, like, this one is on top of the chain. That's why you don't see the things proper. So I'm just gonna do some cleanup. Perfect. Okay, so now let's do the last one, which is 86. And just pay attention to the 3D. Geometry, the same one. And then let's call this, what? 86.15. Enter. Ta-da! It made it for us. Here we go. See? Let's do method dynamic to the rotate. I just clicked here on the rotate and do a dynamic, and then ta-da! See that? Here we go. Perfect. Okay, so the next step that I know most people do is, I mean, now you have the aligns, and you have them, you give them profile, elevation, so ORD, they are a tool to basically drape a terrain over it, right? So let's do terrain, and then let's do from element, and then type break line is okay, max triangle are okay, max length 50, you can do 50 or 25, just make the triangle smaller. And then let's select the elements, right? I'm gonna go to the 3D and select them. Click on them, click on them, click on them. As you can see, it's already selected them here. I don't know if you can see it or not. You see behind it? This is the 3D representation. I think I could have also selected them from here. But before I do that, let's call this one pond. Pond 131B. And then reset, and then click, 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 click. And let's see what it gonna give us. Ta-da! See? Now it gives us a terrain on skeleton lines, right? If you clicked on this, if you hovered over this, and you clicked on properties, you see this 25. Let's change this 25, for example, to 50 again. Or let's do this in properties better. It's already 50. What if I made it 100? So I don't know if you can see that or not. Let me show you. You see this? When I made it 150, it basically, I'm telling it that's the space between triangles. So ignore this. But what I'm trying to say, the smaller the number, the better. Meaning, the smaller the triangles, the better it will go contouring from this one to this one to this one. But instead of what happened here right now, this triangle that went here, it went here, and then after that, because I basically given it 100 feet, so it went to the other side and made another triangle, and then came back, another triangle, came back, another triangle, came back, another triangle. So making a small number is always good. 50 will be good, I think, for this situation, but if you have a strange looking whatever pond and it's big, you see, like for example here 50 doesn't work it, so let's lower it. Let's lower it to 25. See, it still might be working. You know what, let's go low, right? Let's do 10. See, 10 is even better. Let's go 5. Per 5 I think is the perfect one. Just if you are an OCD person like me, right? You want to make it perfect. Okay. So that's what you guys do when you are done, and then you just throw away and then usually tell the roadway, we are done, we're good. So this is good. But if you, before we still do, I mean, we still have not jumped in a template, but before we jump into the template, there are a few things that you can do to make the roadway like you. Okay, so what you need to do is you need to see where the roadway gonna need connectivity with you. As you can look at this here on a pond, roadway would want a connectivity with you on this side of the pond, meaning here. They want a connectivity with you here. So technically, if they just have a corridor here, they're gonna make their life easier. And also your life easier too, because they can connect with your corridor or you connect with their corridor. But the rest of this, they don't need you, right? It's up to you. You can make a corridor here and make a template, cut and fill, whatever you want. It's up to you. But my whole point is the connectivity. So we're almost on the top of hour. So probably, yeah, we're gonna do the 3D template to part 2, right? So what I want you to do here is the following. First of all, now let's go to the template library. First of all, you need to open it for the first time before you get access to the stuff I'm about to show you. So let's do open. And let's go to this one. And remember, this one is loaded with all FDUT, as you see, templates, right? My first thing I would like you to do is just go up top here and do a new, and then new folder. And then call this one FDUT. That's it. So you can have if duty stuff in it. Pop, and then drag them here. That's the only way to do it. You just have to drag them. Why I'm doing that, just I guess I'm trying to show you more hygiene for the template library. Just try to be clean in it and descriptive and have your own folders for everything. Because people are going to inherit the template after you. So being neat and clean is always good. So now we have this one here. What I think we're going to need is, like I said, is the cut and fill, correct? So, and also something else, which is to cover up this, because to me is this pond is naked. We need to give it some clothes, right? So let me show you where you get clothes for it. So let's open FDUT. They actually come up with a surface template. So in the surface template, you see they have something called sod, right? The sod is not that hard. It's literally a point from here to here. And let's see what feature is it. The feature is just mesh excess slopes. That's it. That's what the sod is. We're going to need this one. So let's copy it and paste it up top, because you can use it in all other ponds that you have within the file. The other thing is the end condition, right? So let's say cut and fill. So DOT have these cut and fill ready here for us. You see that? You might need them, so what I'm going to do is let's take them, copy, and let's put them here up top. And then that's it. Then if you want to be more neat, you can go again, like I said, new folder, and let's just call this pond. What is this pond? 131B. Meaning, we're going to put the stuff that we're going to use in this pond. So later on, whoever is going to inherit the file from you, he will pray for you, because you're going to make his life easier or her life easier. They're going to come here, they see all the elements that has been used to make this pond. So right now we have a cut and fill, and we have sod. The only thing I want you to do is, you see this cut and fill, as you can see right now, is it's shooting right? We might need the left one. Bear with me. We can do the following. Right click on this folder and do a new and do a template. And then let's go to this one and rename it. And let's call this one right? Because this one is right. As you can see here in the preview, it's in the right side. Just think of it, this is the 0, right, left. So I'm just going to call this one right. And then the new one, I'm going to make it left. But I'm not going to draw everything from scratch. What I'm going to do is, you can come here and boop, drag it. But while you're dragging it, you see it's still right, but I want it to be left. So while you are holding the left button, right click too, you're going to get this menu. This menu will give you reflect. So if I did reflect, ta-da, now I reflected it. And just drop it here. Here we go. So now you got your reflect. So let me just copy this name, because I'm lazy, and put it here. And then let's call this left, L-A-F-T. And the only thing you need to do here, you can come here and then pop. Where is it? Change template origin. Just so you can zero it. Just so you can go to the pink box. Pink box is the center. That's how templates work. For now, don't worry about this, how it's been made, because we're going to go that later on. So we got all what we need. We got this, we get this, and we got the sod. We might going to need something else, which is what I'm going to do right now, just for my test. Let's do a new, again, let's do a template. So I'm just going to call this tie. Let's do RD, which is roadway, underscore tie in. So here, I'm going to show you a basic template you can draw. Right click, a new component, and let's do constraint. Start anywhere you want and move to wherever you want, and then stop it like this, up and down, wherever you want. I'm just going to do it up. And then right click and do finish. That's it. So now we have a basic template. The first thing is you come here, change the template origin, because all templates need origin. So this is the origin. So now let's double click on a point. Let's call this, for example, CL, right? Or center line, which is basically the start. And the green one, as you can see by colors, the points, the red one, that's meaning have constraint on them. So all your templates, they are always the typical way. They have one green button and the rest are red, because the reds are connected to this. But that's not always the case. For this basic one, what I'm saying, this one is red, that means it's connected to it. But this one is not connected to nothing. Meaning, this one here, the CL, if I right click on it and I did move as a test, see, it moved, the red one will follow it. So let's escape in the keyboard. So now let's go to this one. Let's add restraints, constraint to this. So I'm going to call this point tie. Let's call it RD again, the same as the template tie in. So these are the constraints. So horizontally, I'm telling it to come from the CL and go this feet. But I want it to be, for example, -5. Here we go. See, it's -5. If I did 5, it's going to go to the other side. You see that? -5 will go to this side. And then I can make it vertically because it's vertically from here to here. So from here to here, it's 1.4. But I don't want to do it. I want to do it slope because that's all we need, right? Slope. And for example, let's make it -50. See, -50 up top, and then 50. It's like tie in the bottom. So let's just make it -50. And then let's do apply. And the last thing is double click on it. Right now is by default is going to be just a mesh because if you're doing this without the feature, but you should change the feature. The feature is the color stuff as you're going to see here. So for this one, you can go to excess and then let's go. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Slope, 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 slope. Slopes. And then also let's call this tie in. Boop, and it's going to be brown like this. Okay? So the other thing I would like to do is, remember the right and left I told you? See, we have a right and we have a left, right? I'm sorry, we have a right and we have a left. So this one is going to be a left. And then let's copy. Oh, you know, I can copy it too. I forgot, but I'm not going to do that because it's better to do it like this. And then a new template. So let's get the name from here. Rename. And by the way, everything that I'm showing you here, there are multiple ways of doing it. However, through my expertise, I'm trying to make something nice and easy for everyone. Because I don't want y'all to get overwhelmed, because this stuff can be overwhelming. Okay, hold on. Let me escape. What did I do here? So let's go to the right one. Okay, so this is the left one, right? So it's left. So the other one wanted to be in right. So let's go here and then pop, let's drag it. You see, it's automatically brought it right for me. Why? Because right click from last time, it's still reflect. If I took reflect, it will bring it like that. But I want it to be reflect anyway. So pop, drop it anywhere. So now let's do this. Change template origin, and that's it. You are good for now. So pop, close this. We have cut and fill right and left. We have tie in right and left for the example that I want to show, and we have a sod. Okay, so let's dress up the pond, right? Because like I said, I don't like it naked. So let's do this. Come here over this, hover over it and click. And then there are this thing here. See, templates? And then apply service template. And then after that, let's go to the template library that we just opened. And let's go to the pond. And you see sod? Pop, click on it. And do OK. And then click, 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 click. And you can see what happened. Ta-da! See, I applied that. We still have the surface. We can turn the surface level off. Let's go to level display. And let's turn the triangles off. Here we go. Ta-da! And now we have a nice looking pond. See? Perfect. Let's get a typical, not a typical, cross-section view, right? So let's do a drawing. So I'm just going to get any like regular line. I want to draw it here to be 90 degree like this. Where's that line? Here we go. Let's get it. Let's move it here. I mean, it doesn't matter what level it is. It doesn't matter whatever it is. Just a line. The tool will work. The cross-section view. So let's get the view here. And then let's go to corridor. And then let's go to dynamic cross-section. And then let's click here, and then pop, 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 let's go up, and then pop, pop, pop here, and then let's get me section, interval, pop, open the view, and now it gives us this, so now let's investigate. Here we go. Ta-da! See? We got our lovely pond. Looking cute, looking perfect. Okay. So I'm gonna stop the video for now because I'm already an hour and 5 minutes. The rest we will continue in part 2 of making these lovely ponds. So stay tuned for part 2. Or if you're in the future in YouTube, just go click on part 2.